How's it going, folks? So we're out here on our land in the Blue Mountain Range of Northeast Oregon, and we're kind of just hiding in the shade a bit because it's definitely touch hot out today. But we are just out here gathering hawthorn berries, and you're like, what? Hawthorn isn't ready yet. And you're right. Standard hawthorn, the red hawthorn that y'all are accustomed to, isn't really ready until fall, and she's best if you wait until the first frost or some cold days before you harvest her. But here, all over the land, we have the native Black Hawthorn or Douglas Hawthorn, and she is just growing in abundance all over the property. And you can see why they call her Black Hawthorn, because let me grab a little berry here. They're black. Don't mind my berry stained fingers. And these aren't even all the way ripe yet. So here's one that's all the way ripe. Here's one. So they are black in color, and unlike the I guess I'll say the European hawthorn that was brought over here, these ones don't hold off until fall. So they are ready now in like early August, late July. And she's even a little trickier to harvest in the way that, so a bunch of her is ready right now, but also a bunch of them are green still. So unfortunately, you can't wait until they're all ready to come pick with ease. You kind of have to make sure that you're taking a moment to see if her berries are ripe or not, or even if they're overripe. I'll have him come look a little closer here. You can see here that this berry is just about ready, but not quite because she's still a little red. This one is almost done for, and then this one's darn near green, and then this whole bunch is completely past ripening, you know. And so you kind of just have to be out here and be discerning when you pick. But the good news is all of these overripe ones, while you don't really want to make like jelly with these because she is edible, she's in the apple family, you can certainly, something bit my neck, you can certainly still use these for a tincture as long as they still have give when you touch them. You don't want them like petrified and dried. Like look, that one's so dried. That one's so dried that I can't even mush her, so I'm going to give her back and she'll grow into another tree. This one still has a bit of give, so I know that I can tincture her. Now, a hawthorn is a hawthorn is a hawthorn is a hawthorn, regardless of the species of hawthorn. And what's funny is, with the standard hawthorn we're all accustomed to, you really can't nail down her specific species because she really likes to get friendly with all other hawthorn species, meaning she crossbreeds all the time, so it's almost impossible to say what exact species of hawthorn you have. Now, Black Hawthorn doesn't really do that as much, but that also might just be because we're kind of in an isolated area. I'm not so sure that if I planted some standard hawthorns that she wouldn't crossbreed and we'd get like a purple hawthorn or something like that. But regardless of the type, she's amazing for supporting a really important system in your body, and that is in your entire cardiovascular system. When people think cardiovascular, they might just think, oh, it's good for heart health. But it goes so much beyond that. It's blood pressure, it's even cholesterol, it's all of your veins and all of these little bits and pieces that move blood and oxygen and nutrients all through your body. And hawthorn is amazing at that. And she's so safe that she's a food. Now, a lot of people don't realize that hawthorn is just a miniature little apple, same way that rose is an apple. And so when you're like, well, I don't know if I can use hawthorn. I don't know if I can, is it safe? How much can I take? This or that. She's a food. So it's kind of like asking yourself, can I eat an apple? It's kind of the same thing. Now, of course, if you eat too many apples, you're going to violently shit yourself. So, you know, maybe don't like 24/7 live off of hawthorn, but she's definitely a food-based medicine that you can work into your diet. Now, hawthorn has two distinct features that will help you ID her. I'll have him get closer so we can check these out. So the first thing is that if you're wondering if you have a hawthorn, if it doesn't have thorns, the odds are really unlikely that you don't have a hawthorn. Hawthorn has thorns. There are some ornamental varieties that are thornless, but they're not very common and they don't tend to cross with other hawthorns. The next thing is She has this really unique serrated, oh, I broke her. Sorry, sweetheart. Let me find one that looks great. She's got a really unique serrated leaf. There's a big one. Okay, so I'm gonna pick it right here. Check out her leaf. Every hawthorn leaf looks like this, where she has the serrated tips, and it's really an easy thing to ID. If you take a picture like off of the internet of a hawthorn leaf and you're going out to ID a hawthorn, any hawthorn you look at will have this leaf shape. She should have all these really defined serrated bits right here, and then you combine this with the fact that you see a nice spike here, and then let me grab a berry. So dropped her, let me grab her. So on the berry tip, because she's an apple and she's a single bloom berry, you're gonna have almost like how a rose hip looks, or on the bottom of an apple looks, you're gonna have, you can see where the bloom was. And then on the inside, although a few of the hawthorn trees will be different, she's not gonna have a whole lot of flesh to her. See when I spread this? Look, that is just her seed in the center there, so there's not a whole lot. I mean, well, there are multiple seeds, but you're not going to be like, wow, that's a really juicy, you know, thing. It's going to be kind of mealy. And some of them with the traditional hawthorns, which I have a different video on that, some of them almost have like a hair type substance in them, the same way that like rose hips do, because they are all an apple. Drop your leaf. But now this particular hawthorn tree only grows in the Pacific Northwest. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure she's only indigenous and native to this area. But there are a lot of other different types of native hawthorn trees, and so it would really be worth looking up in your area, you know, hawthorn tree varieties in whatever state or county or area you're in, and see what pops up. Most of the agricultural places and the fish and wildlife, they document all this stuff, so this information is out there and readily available for you. And now she might not be a black hawthorn, she might be a red hawthorn, and then, you know, but they're all going to have the same leaves, and they're all going to have the thorns. And speaking of those thorns, when you're gathering her, be careful, because these thorns are sharp enough, and here's a dead one. Let me take her there. These thorns are sharp enough that you can turn them into needles. That a lot of cultures have traditionally used them to do tattooing. It can take your eye out. So like you're up here gathering, like be mindful of your face. Maybe wear a pair of sunglasses if you are prone to not paying attention and running into things. You know, that's just a human thing. And so you can get out here and find her without completely blinding yourself looking for her. So the most important thing to remember is that you are absolutely smart enough to get out here and find these medicines. You are smart enough to get out here on the land and be curious and start taking your health back into your own hands. With hawthorn, you're either going to make her into a tea or a tincture or a jelly, or you can make pretty much anything with her because she is food-based. And also, please know that everything you learn while you're being curious and out here is valid. You don't need to pay somebody thousands of dollars to retain this knowledge. If you meet hawthorn and you read all about hawthorn and you start using hawthorn, you know hawthorn. You don't need to pay to retain that, okay? So, if you like my random videos where I'm really hot, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not thinking straight, and I'm out here showing you who we can gather when and what I'm all about, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment, share. If you're watching me on YouTube, come find me on Instagram. If you're watching me on Instagram, come find me on YouTube. So thanks for watching and getting to know hawthorn, and I'll see you next time. Bye.